Risotto, magical word. I love it. And the best teacher I ever had for it was a book teacher friend, Marcella Hazan. The ratio is very simple. It's 5 parts or so stock to 1 part of risotto rice, bomba rice in this particular case. I'm not going to be able to make risotto from beginning to end. I just want to show you the beginning. Here's what happens. We make Thanksgiving and we have all these wonderful leftovers. One of the leftovers was a beautiful turkey and ham soup. These are the solids to that soup. Ham, turkey, and some vegetables that were in the soup, including some cabbage. Wonderful things, but you can only eat soup so many times before you start thinking, man, I'd like something else. Fat can come in various flavors. Here's some duck fat. Here's some roasted garlic oil. I oftentimes will use a few different kinds of fat for the different expressions of flavor they give us. So that was roasted garlic oil. Here's duck fat. And I've had this pan on for a few minutes. And the third fat in this case will be some beautiful butter. Where would we be without butter? Okay, so you've seen the duck fat, you've seen the butter, and you've seen the roasted garlic oil. And you know we have rice, and over here, this is the strained stock, which will be a little bit more than we need. Whenever I'm setting down the foundation, I'm going to start, if I'm using chilies, I'm going to start with the chilies and the garlic. Let those work first, because it sets the tone for what's to come. I have all these vegetables from the soup, so I don't need a tremendous amount of vegetable flavor. It's going to come from the soup and the stock that had all the vegetables in it. Now, some leeks happened to be at the market just a little while ago. A little tiny market, but boy, they have some beautiful leeks. All right, leeks are one of my favorite foundational vegetables, not to be overlooked. You want to lay down a little bit of salt, not much, because I don't want it to become salty, but you want to salt and pepper in the beginning steps, laying down the foundation of it. Okay. This, by the way, the stock here is hot. Just came out the fire, so that's what you want. You don't want to work with cold stock going into your risotto. Flat spatula. It helps me get a nice way to lift the bottom of the pan. We've got some more butter here, but it looks like we've got a good ratio of butter to vegetables. And stir. I mentioned Marcella Hazan, the greatest Italian cookbook authority and an all-out pistol in person. I miss her. I know there's a great documentary coming out because Renee Frigo, who was the person who engineered the first version of the documentary on Charlie Trotter, is doing this documentary. I think it may be already taped. I'm not positive about that. I'll have to ask Renee. She is an amazing lady. Okay, here's our rice, which is different rice than your converted rice, which Uncle Ben's is the most famous. As you know, I've already put some salt and pepper in there. Now we coat the rice. This is very, very important. You want to get it lubricated on all sides, every grain. Another person that I always think about when it comes to making risotto is the longtime New York chef Michael Romano, who was the longtime chef of the Union Square Cafe with Danny Meyer and his amazing group. Michael came to our restaurant to do a charity dinner with Daniel Ballou and Tom Colicchio. We are raising money for an excellent cause. This is long ago, maybe around 2000. And the dish that Michael chose to make was risotto. And it was a smart dish because people love it. People love risotto. And risotto is pretty forgiving. Even though we can talk a lot about ratio and stirring and all that, for a party, it's a great way to go. So you can consider doing it for your home often. Now that I've got, I miss you too, Michael. Now that I've got this started, we'll begin with a fairly decent amount of stock. After that, we're going to be going in bit by bit. You hear that cooking sound that it is. The thing about risotto is that this rice has this amazing propensity to absorb the stock, but you have to work it in stages. If you've never made risotto, but you've made something like oatmeal, you do know how to hydrate and work liquid into something else, a grain, a rice, a grass, all those various things. So what we're going to do is we're going to save these solids for later. They're going to go into the risotto, but not until almost the very end. I might cut up that cabbage a little bit. And then I'm not going to keep you here. I wanted to show you the beginning part of this thing. I'm going to let that reduce down, let the rice suck in the stock, and then every so often I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more and a little bit more. I've already measured this out, so I know that the ratio that Marcella taught in one of the books that is one of my Bible books, 5 to 1. So I had a half a cup of rice. I'm going to add roughly 2.5 cups of my turkey soup stock that's been infused with all of the things that were in there. I can go ahead and add in things like, if I wish to, I could add in a bay leaf. I could add in some herbs, and I might add some Italian parsley because I got that in the market today too. So this is it. It's going to take a half an hour or so. So turn on your favorite music. Get yourself a cup of tea, if that's the time of day it is, and it is that time of day for me. And then I'll just go back and forth and back and forth. I'll know when it's probably ready because of the amount of stock that I've used, but I will know more than any other way by the texture of the risotto rice. You want it to the tooth, not crunchy at all, creamy, delicious, pliant, all those lovely food words. All right, folks, I'm going to bid you adieu for now. I don't want to hang on for 30 minutes and make up stories about the past, although if it was wine time, perhaps we would. I hope you love making risotto. I'll talk to you again.